Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of Major League Baseball. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Philadelphia Phillies and the Chicago Cubs live from Wrigley Field, as we will offer you our thoughts, opinions, and commentary on this game. The Phillies are the visitors, and they are playing one game above 500. They are 14-13 on the year. On the flip side, the Chicago Cubs are 17-11. And if you take away their two losses in Japan, they'd be 17-9 on North American soil. They've been playing good baseball as of late. The Phillies, on the other side, have been scuffling, but they have started to swing the bat a little bit better. And if they can get that with their pitching, it will be pretty good. Well, first of all, we're going to give you the starting lineups. The starting lineups for the visitors from Philadelphia. Leading off and playing second base is number 5, Bryson Stott. Batting second at shortstop is number 7, Trey Turner. Getting in the 3 spot and playing first base is number 3, Bryce Harper. And the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 12, Kyle Schwarber. Batting 5th in right field is number 8, Nick Castellanos. Batting 6th and doing the catching is number 10, JT Realmuto. Batting in the 7th spot and in left field is number 17, Max Kepler. Batting 8th and at third base is number 28, Alec Boehm. And batting 9th and in center field, wearing number 23, is Johan Rojas. And they're going to be facing Jameson Taillon, who takes to the hill with a 1-1 record. Taillon worked 26 2/3 innings this year. He's allowed 25 hits, 14 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 7 and struck out 24, and he's got himself an earned run average of 4.73. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Philadelphia. Now your starting lineup for the hometown Chicago Cubs. Leading off and in left field, wearing number 8, is Ian Happ. Batting second in right field is number 30, Kyle Tucker. Batting third and doing designated hitting is number 27, Seiya Suzuki. In the cleanup spot and playing first base is number 29, Michael Busch. Batting in the 5th spot and playing shortstop is number 7, Dansby Swanson. Batting 6th at second base is number 2, Nico Horner. Hitting in the 7th spot and in center field is number 4, Pete Crow Armstrong. Batting 8th and doing the catching, wearing number 9, is Miguel Amaya. And batting 9th and playing third base, wearing number 17, is Vidal Brujan. They're going to be facing Aaron Nola, who has really struggled to get things going here in 2025. He has yet to get a win. He is 0-5 on the season. He's worked 28 innings. He's allowed 34 hits, 21 runs, 20 which have been earned. He has walked 11 and struck out 31, pitching to an ERA of 6.43. Well, that's your starting lineup. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. We're about 5 minutes away to first pitch. It is the Phillies and the Cubs when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
We are just a couple moments away from first pitch, about 3 minutes to be exact. We'll be right back after this. It is Cubs and Phillies when we return. It is going to be the Phillies and the Cubs. First pitch is just a couple minutes away. We'll be right back after this with all the action after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. Jameson Taillon is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway. Coming to bat for the Phillies will be Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper to face the right-hander as we are about ready to begin the action here. It is 54 degrees at game time. The skies are clear. It is sunshine has been out for most of the day in Chicago, as it is going to be the home plate umpire for tonight's game. Mark Ripperger will be calling the balls and strikes. Edwin Jimenez is the first base umpire. Nick Marley is at second, with Vic Carapazza working the rocking chair over at third base. And that is how the umpires will align themselves for tonight. The wind tonight, it is blowing, at least to start, 10 miles per hour in from right field. But as you know, at Wrigley Field, wait about 5 or 10 minutes, and that will change, and probably multiple times throughout the ball game. Well, Taillon is ready to go, and so are we, as it's going to be Stott, Turner, and Harper to get things going here in inning number 1. As Taillon gets himself onto the rubber, the umpires have let everybody know that time is ready and of the essence, and we are ready to get this one underway. Taillon getting his sign from Imaya. He rocks himself into the windup and delivers. The first pitch is a fastball that misses just outside for ball 1. We are underway at 6:10 local time in Chicago. If you're listening to us on the East Coast, it is 7:10, 4:10 Pacific, as there's a fastball that catches the outside corner at 93 miles an hour, and the count goes even at 1-1. The last pitch there that he threw, a four-seam fastball, but it does have some arm side run from Taillon. As the right-hander ready to go, kicks and fires. It is bunted down the third base line, but it is going to go foul. Stott saw that the third baseman, Brion, was playing well behind the bag, and he thought he would take his chances. But no such luck. Good idea by him. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Stott. Stott batting .293 on the season, a couple homers and 14 RBIs. Little different look. We expected when the lineups rolled out, we might see Kyle Schwarber in the top spot, as he has been hitting a lot of leadoff this year. But they have stacked the top of the order with some wheels with Stott and Turner. Taillon rocks into the motion. He delivers. There's a breaking ball that's down in the dirt, and it squirts away from him, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Defensively tonight for the Cubs, from left to right field, Ian Happ is in left. It's Crow Armstrong in center, and Kyle Tucker is in right. Our friend Randy is back in with us here tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the first base side. And the count remains at 2-2. So us doing the Cubs and the Phillies tonight. And in the wee hours of the morning, it was Japanese baseball with Trevor Bauer on the mound. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Stott. Round the horn from first to third, it is Bush at first, the second baseman Horner, shortstop is Swanson, and the third baseman is Brion. And there's a fastball that is swung on and missed. And you could put Bryson Stott in the books for out number 1, as he's gone on strikes. 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Trey Turner. And just to complete the defensive alignment for the Cubs, the battery, of course, is Taillon and Amaya, as they have rolled out pretty much a lineup tonight. Here's the first pitch from Taillon. It's a breaking ball that just catches the inside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Turner. Turner hitting .245 on the year, homer, 8 RBIs, batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Taillon, who kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field, coming in hard, but not able to get there is Pete Crow Armstrong. That ball is going to drop in for a single, And so Turner is aboard here with one gone, and that's going to bring up the first baseman and Bryce Harper. Well, for Harper, he enters the game tonight hitting .242. He's got 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. If I had to make a projection tonight, I would think that somebody in the middle of the order here for the Phillies, 3, 4, 5, 6, is going to do some damage with the bat. There's a first pitch fastball that misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. It's a very dangerous Philadelphia lineup. And when you've got Alec Boehm batting 8th and Max Kepler 7th, I'm going to tell you just exactly how deep that lineup is. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. Good stop there by Amaya. He keeps it in front. The count now goes to 2-0 on Harper. 2 balls and no strikes to the left-handed hitting first baseman of the Phillies. Harper digs himself back into the batter's box. He taps both sides of the plate. And now ready to go again is Taillon as he works himself set and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This has popped up, a major league pop-up over on the third base side. Moving over is Brian, but he's just going to watch it drift and hit the top of the dugout, and that's going to run the count to 2-1. The wind can play havoc in Wrigley. It has got all kinds of craziness. As the ball gets popped up into the air, you never know. And so this is going to be the entertainment there is with the wind. We were talking about it last night in Japan in Yokohama as Taillon throws over to first and diving back is Turner. Ball's routine pop-ups in the infield become adventures. That's what we could potentially expect at Wrigley Field tonight, sitting close to the waters of Lake Michigan. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as Taillon delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted foul. Hook barreled into the right field corner just near the Benjamin Moore sign. Runs the count now to 2-2 on Harper. I would think from a pitching performance tonight, if Taillon could get him into the 6th inning, they'll be okay. But it's the Cubs bullpen that makes you chew your nails a little bit. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2 to Harper. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Taillon again, getting the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work again. Establishing his lead is Turner over there at first base. Taillon works to the set. And the pitch on the way. It is a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now is full to Harper. That's what you get with a veteran call. Bryce Harper there getting the respect of the home plate umpire. Certainly, one would expect that that pitch would probably been, for most other human beings, he would have been punched out at that one. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, is rolled over to the right side, fielded by the second baseman, Nico Horner, diving to his right, and he throws from his knees to be able to get the lead runner, Turner, at second base. That's going to be a fielder's choice, 4-6. Nice play there by the second baseman of the Cubs. He was shifted into the 4 hole, and Harper is going to be aboard on the fielder's choice, and that will bring up the designated hitter in Kyle Schwarber. I have to say, the middle of the infield for the Cubs, in fact, not just the infield, just right up the middle, is very strong defensively with Pete Crow Armstrong in center, Swanson and Horner in the keystone positions. As there's a breaking ball that misses outside to Schwarber, count is quickly 1-0. Those particular players, they get the opportunity to flash the leather. It's very, very, very strong defensively for the Cubs. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. And when you think of the defense period, corner outfielders, Ian Happ has been in the Gold Glove conversation for a number of years. Kyle Tucker, coming over from the Astros, also can play some pretty solid defense. You can argue that Tucker is as close to a 5-tool player as anyone in baseball. There's a fastball that misses down. Count goes to 2-1 on Schwarber. Schwarber's hitting .250 on the year, 7 homers and 18 runs driven in. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Taillon as Taillon snap throws over to first base, and getting back in time head first is Harper. So 2 balls and a strike here to Schwarber. Again, Tyon leaning in, getting his sign from his catcher. He works to the set position, the 2-1 coming. As it's on its way, it's a fastball swung on and missed. 93 in the upper part of the zone. I think Schwarber might want that one back, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Philly designated hitter. So Schwarber readjusts himself, gets his gloves tightened back up, steps back into the batter's box. As it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander Tyon works to the set. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted high in the air on the right side. It is playable. Underneath it is the second baseman Horner. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it here as the Phillies are gone in the first inning for their half of inning number 1. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. That would have been Harper. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 1, it is the Phillies nothing and the Cubs coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order to come to bat for the Cubs here in inning number 1. That means Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, and Seiya Suzuki, as they will be facing the right-hander Aaron Nola for his first inning of work. We were talking in the last half inning about the wind and what that might present itself tonight here, especially as it's always changing. Nothing is an automatic out when it is popped up into the air in Wrigley, just like it would be in San Francisco, 2 very difficult parks to play in. So it is Happ, Tucker, and Suzuki to come to bat. Ian Happ stepping in, switch hitter, batting .269 on the season, a couple of homers and 14 runs batted in. He has been a pretty good table setter here for the Cubs. Nola gets himself another baseball as he's rubbing it up here, and we're ready to resume the action. Nola looking for his first win in 2025, 0-5 to start the campaign. And he is ready to go as he rocks into the motion and delivers. First pitch fastball catches the outside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Happ. Happ digs himself back in, ready to go again. Waiting on the offering here from the right-hander. As Nola gets the sign, and he rocks himself into the delivery. He kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. Camping out underneath it is the center fielder Rojas, and he's there to make the catch. That's going to retire Happ for the first out of the innings. So 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up the right fielder in Kyle Tucker. Our friend Jonathan in the house, are also known as Yuki Matsui. He says the Cubs D-back game we called a couple of weeks ago was pretty wild. Absolutely it was. That had to be one of the strangest games we've seen in a while. Randy points out that the Cubs have not played a team with a losing record in 2025. Yeah, they've had a pretty tough schedule to start the year. They've done more than hold their own. As there's a first pitch fastball delivered for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Tucker. Tucker batting an even .300 entering tonight's game. He's got 7 homers and 25 runs driven in. Facing Aaron Nola here in the hole at 0-1. As Nola kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count runs even to 1-1. I didn't get a chance really to look at the earlier games much today. I checked in on a couple of teams that I do follow here and there outside of the ones that we call. But I haven't gone through the scoreboard myself yet in earlier action. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count's now 2-1 to Tucker. I do know the headline out of New York was that Devin Williams has been demoted as their closer. He's got off to a really rough start in the Bronx. I'm sure that's not going to endear himself to the faithful in New York. There is a breaking ball swung on. It is golfed into center field. Racing over to his left is Rojas, and he's going to make the catch. And there is 2 up and 2 away, and Rojas has been a busy man here in the first inning, the center fielder of the Phillies, as he made both of the putouts. Jonathan says that the Mets dropped the game while winning 7-1 in the 7th. That is not a good thing if you're a Mets fan. I have a feeling it's going to be a roller coaster year for Mets fans with a lot of injuries, both on the mound and offensively to start the year. And then with all of that, they've actually been fairly decent. As the pitch is on the way, it is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Seiya Suzuki. Suzuki really started off in a rough shape, and he had a really difficult time getting it going. Even in spring training wasn't so good, but he's now hitting .292 with 6 homers and 23 RBIs. His bat is heating up. As that breaking ball misses outside, the count runs even to 1-1. Tough pill to swallow for the Japanese outfielder, as he has been kind of relegated to the DH role. He expressed that he wanted to be playing and playing every day. As the 1-1 is on the way, there's a fastball swung on, and he fouls it right into his shin. Ball and 2 strikes to Suzuki. And certainly certain players, if they're not playing every day, it is an adjustment to become a designated hitter only. When you are having to just get your swings or prepare for your at-bat, you get a lot of time on your hands. Some of the players go down into the tunnel and take swings and take cuts. Others prepare a little bit differently at his hard position just to swing the bat. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul behind home plate, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Seiya Suzuki. The former Hiroshima Carp, as he had began his career in Japan. He was originally drafted as a pitcher in the NPB draft when he was selected, and they converted him to an outfielder. As the 1-2 is on the way, it is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Suzuki's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Cubs as they go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now through 1 complete. Your score is the Phillies 0 and the Cubs 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the 2nd inning when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is Phillies and Cubs when we return. It is 0-0. Phillies and Cubs. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure to go check him out after the game and let him know that Last Raps Baseball sent you when you have a chance. It is our friend Steve right after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate everybody. And not only is that Steve Rademacher, he's also sitting here in the chat. Be sure to go ask him any questions that you so desire, as Steve will be able to give you all of life's lessons throughout tonight's show. Well, it is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat. That means Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, and Max Kepler to face the right-hander Jameson Taillon here in inning number 2 at a beautiful day in April in Chicago, as we are starting to move into the month of May. Nice springtime weather abound. And the first pitch here coming from Taillon as he rocks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. This ball is going to get down, and it's going to get all the way to the ivy. Picking up off the one hop off the wall is Happ. Digging for 2 is Castellanos, and he's going to slide in safely into second base. So Castellanos has got himself a leadoff double here to start the second inning. That'll bring up the catcher in JT Realmuto. It's going to be difficult to be able to keep these Phillies off the base paths. They've got a lot of pop in their lineup. And so Castellanos picking up where the others couldn't get her done with a leadoff double here. And Realmuto striding to the plate, hitting .233 in the early going. He's got a homer and 7 runs batted in. As Taillon kicks and delivers, there's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I have to say, Realmuto is still in my top 5 as catchers, but I do think that he is sliding a little bit. He is not quite the player that he was a few years ago, as he may be passing the mantle over to others, but still I think good enough to be there. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Certainly when I think of the Americans and their national team, JT Realmuto is one of those players that comes to mind. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at third base, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Realmuto. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dal Bruin getting the nod at third base here tonight. Got a chance to see him in his season debut a couple of weeks ago. Or I think it was more like 10 days ago. Our friend Jonathan said about that game, the Diamondbacks and the Cubs was an absolute crazy game. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is now 2-2 to Realmuto. I'd like to see the explanation on yesterday's Diamondback game when Eugenio Suarez hit 4 homers in the game and they lost. So it was the 19th time 4 homers have been hit in a ball game, and ended up taking the lump in that one as that breaking ball is swung on and grounded foul, and the count remains at 2-2 to Realmuto. I wonder how many other times that has happened to those other 18 who have hit home runs in the game. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second, Castellanos. Nobody out. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back. That count is going to remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Max Kepler waiting his turn on deck here in this one. Again, the right-hander Taillon getting that sign from Amaya. As he works himself into the set position, he checks the runner and now delivers. Fastball swung on and is lined right to the glove of the first baseman, Michael Busch, who was playing off the line. Good piece of hitting by Realmuto. He really stayed inside the ball and hit an absolute screamer. All he could do is turn and walk back to the dugout, but it hit right to the glove of Michael Busch. They couldn't have played him any more perfectly. And he is gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Max Kepler. Well, Max Kepler, know him well. Certainly our time in the German league years ago when he played for the Regensburg Legionnaire. He takes a fastball outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Kepler, as a youngster, 16, 17-year-old, was playing for the Legionnaire. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Taillon. Pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and away, but he was not the first German-born and trained player to make it to the big leagues. A lot of the people would point to Donald Lutz, who was with the Cincinnati Reds. So 2 balls and no strikes to Kepler. As the right-hander Taillon ready to go again, he delivers a fastball that's center cut for a called strike at the knees, and the count is now 2-1. Jonathan says his top 5 catchers right now would be Patrick Bailey, Cal Raleigh, Adley Rutschman, Patrick Bailey, William Contreras, and Will Smith. hard to argue with that. I would say maybe from just the catching standpoint, Contreras might even be my number one. Cal Raleigh has really pushed his way into that conversation as well. Rutschman had a tough year at the end of last year. I don't know if I would have him up at the top spot. Breaking ball down. Now 3-1 to Kepler. Will Smith, I'm not sure if he's always given the respect that he deserves. Patrick Bailey, certainly in that conversation. But I do think Real Muto still defensively is good enough to crack that top 5. And if I had to drop somebody from your 5, it might be, in my eyes, Will Smith or Patrick Bailey. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. There's a fastball, check swing up the middle, grounded right to the shortstop, Swanson, who fields and throws to first. That is going to retire Kepler on a ground out, 6-3. Advancing to third is Castellanos as he reaches with 2 gone, and that'll leave it all up to the third baseman, Alec Bohm. Well, for Bohm, he enters the fray tonight hitting .224, no homers and 7 runs batted in. Jonathan says Rutschman is young and Raleigh is the Platinum Gold Glove winner. Actually, Rutschman's not as young as you think he is. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside and the count is 1-0. He was the first overall pick as he was a football player. I believe it was the University of, well, he was at Oregon State, if I'm not mistaken. Playing for the Beavers. There's a fastball that swung on. It is lifted into deep right field. And now moving toward the line as he's fighting the sun and the wind is Tucker, and he's going to make the catch. And Bohm is going to be retired for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Phillies. Well, they got a runner to third base, but unable to cash him in. They waste the leadoff double by Castellanos. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. We're through 1.5. Your score is the Philadelphia Phillies nothing, the Chicago Cubs nothing. Stick around, everybody. The bottom of the second inning is just around the corner. Glad you guys can make it in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. We got a 0-0 scoreline. We are moving to the bottom half of inning number 2. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the Cubs order to come to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 2. Michael Busch, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Horner to face Aaron Nola of the Phillies. Scoreline 0-0 here between the Phils and the Cubs. There's been a little bit of traffic on the base paths for the Phillies, but they've not been able to cash in quite yet. It is the Cubs on the flip side are yet to see their first base runner as we move to the second inning. We're going to be on the airwaves again tomorrow. It is going to be the Hanshin Tigers and the Chinichi Dragons. It'll be 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. So if you're around the channel, be sure to check it out. As the first pitch from Aaron Nola is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. May look to try to squeeze some major league action in earlier in the day, but we'll have to see how that goes. So no balls and 1 strike to Busch. Busch hitting .295, 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. As Nola rocks and delivers. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count runs even to 1-1. Only 11 pitches in the first inning for Nola. He threw 8 of them for strikes. That'll be the key to his success tonight if he can stay around the zone and keep the Cubs hitters off balance as the pitch is on the way. There is a fastball swung on it. It's grounded foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 1-2 on Bush. National League East standings, Mets are at the top of the pile. They currently have a 4.5 game lead over the Phillies. Surprisingly, the Nationals are in third. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses inside. The count goes to 2-2. Our friend Jonathan says Bryce Harper used the blue bat in the game to signal he's having a baby or having a boy. Does gender reveal ceremonies belong in the MLB? You know, I mean, guys can swing whatever bats they want. I know on Father's Day, Mother's Day, they have different things that the players will wear. And so as that fastball misses down and away and the count goes to 3-2, it's almost some subliminal marketing in ways for players to do certain things. Certainly when you see players that are endorsing products, if they wear something, the kids see it, they might want it. And so next thing you know is the sale of blue bats have gone up. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, and the count remains full to Bush. So that standpoint, that doesn't particularly bother me, whether or not somebody uses a blue bat, a black bat, a pink bat, whatever it might be. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Bush as the right-hander Nola rocks into the delivery. And there is a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count remains full to the first baseman of the Cubs. But it is something that, you know, over time, one of the things that maybe bothers me a little bit more is you look at some of the players, what's more prevalent in more recent years is they're wearing of their earrings and their jewelry. As the pitch is on the way, there is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly to first, fielded by Harper. He's going to flip it to Nola covering, and that's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Dansby Swanson. Our friend Randy says that the Cubs gave Harper 6 intentional walks one Mother's Day and still lost the game. It's kind of funny, actually. So that is going to bring to the plate the right-handed hitting Dansby Swanson. And the first pitch to Swanson's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Swanson's hitting a .188 to start the year with 4 homers and 15 RBIs. Bats from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Nola. 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. Jonathan says the Phillies' losing streak started after the gender reveal game. Well, if you're not a fan of the Phillies, maybe that you should be asking them to reveal some more. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Swanson's in the books on 3 pitches. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Nico Horner. Well, it looks like that Aaron Nola, whatever he decided to do to get prepared for this game, he should keep doing it if you're a fan of the Phillies. He has been electric through the first 5 batters that he's faced. Brings Horner to the plate, who's hitting .287, no homers and 14 runs batted in. Batting from the right side here against the righty Nola, who kicks and delivers a fastball at the knees for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Randy pointed out that Harper at that time when he was walked was with the Nationals. So here comes the pitch from Nola as he rocks again into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it, is popped up into right center field. It's a bit of a Bermuda Triangle. Racing in and diving and unable to make the catch is Rojas. And with some good hustle, Nico Horner is going to get himself a cheap and easy Wrigley double as that ball ends up landing in right center field. It was in no man's land. They had to come, both the center fielder Rojas and the right fielder Castellanos. Also giving chase was the second baseman Stott. And then the center fielder Rojas dove and he was unable to come up with it. But you got to give credit to Horner, who was coming hard out of the box, and he was able to reach second base safely. That'll go in the books as a double. So a Wrigley double at that, and that'll bring up the center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong. And the first pitch to Armstrong's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Armstrong's been a hot hitter lately. He's got his average up to 284, 5 homers and 18 runs batted in, and he's hitting it down in the order to do it. Has the right-hander ready to go again. Nola checks the runner at second and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on tap, slowly foul, just past the bag at first base. And that puts Crow Armstrong in the hole at 0-2. A little bit harsh way for Nola to allow that first runner to reach base. As we mentioned, that ball was in no man's land there in the Bermuda Triangle of right center field. The right fielder Castellanos, center fielder Rojas, everybody converging, but nobody being able to make the play. So there's no balls and 2 strikes here to Crow Armstrong as the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It's popped up on the left field side, and that's going to reach the seats, and the count remains at 0-2. Randy says, Nico's name came up in trade talks so often this offseason. Glad they kept him. The big thing for Nico Horner is to be able to stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's an invaluable part of the lineup for the Cubs. And that's a lot of what ifs because there's been a lot of times he's been on the injured list as that fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Crow Armstrong waits here on the offering, pitch on the way. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is golfed into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Looking up, and this ball is off the wall, or did it clear out? Let's see here. It looks like it's going to get a run in. We're going to have to wait and see if they're going to rule it any further. It might have hit the top of the wall and bounce back in. But Pete Crow Armstrong's going to trade places with Ian Happ as he's got himself a double and himself an RBI. That ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. It hardly looked like he hit it, but he got good wood on it as he was able to golf it into right field. And his wheels, he's easily able to get into second base with a double. And the Cubs have drawn first blood here as they now lead the Phillies 1-0 here on Sunday night. Well, that brings to the plate Miguel Amaya, his first plate appearance, and the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Maya batting .281, a couple homers and 14 RBIs. A little bit harsh there for Nola because with 2 out, the bleeder that got down probably should have been an out in most ballparks. And then Pete Crow Armstrong steps up and makes him pay. There was a breaking ball waved at and missed by Amaya, and the count now goes to 0-2. Crow Armstrong was originally drafted by the New York Mets, and he was sent to the Cubs in a trade. And Crow Armstrong, I have to admit, I really enjoy watching him. I really enjoy watching him play center field, and took note of that in the Japanese series, that in the exhibition, and then against the Dodgers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Amaya's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. That's the 3rd strikeout recorded by Nola tonight, but the Cubs draw first blood. They got 1 run on the benefit of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 2 complete innings. Your score is the Cubs 1 and the Phillies no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back to chat with the chat when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back in just a few.
Hello? Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I gotta go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you there, Steve, friend of our channel. Be sure to check out Steve Rademacher after the game. He has got all kinds of wild and crazy things on his channel, and some of them are even edible. All right, everybody. Well, our friend Jonathan asked the question. He says, do you prefer an improved and flexible system with human umps or full robot umps and no humans? Personally speaking, I much prefer the human umpires. You don't have the human umpires, you don't have much to talk about. And in a lot of ways, they're trying to make this game a more technological advanced game where it doesn't have to be. You've got all the, I hate to say it, the flavor of the game, whether it be the arguments, whether it be Lou Piniella coming out of the dugout and taking a base and turfing it. A lot of those things were entertaining back in the day. And I know that sometimes that baseball wants to take certain things out, but you know what? Human error is still a lot of fun because it gives you some talking points. It's going to be the 9-1 and 2 hitters to come to bat here to face Jameson Taillon. And the first pitch breaking ball is down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. Rojas hitting .289 on the year, no homers and 7 runs driven in. As the right-hander Taillon delivers fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. One thing I will say is that with the games on TV, as there's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, count is 2-1. There's too much production that is put in. It's like people are going out of their way to make the game fun. What's fun is the game. As the 2-1 pitch is on its way, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs, count goes to 3-1. We've lost sight in North America of what the purpose and the intent is. When you go to a baseball game, you go for the game. It's turned in when you go to the game. The game is the second thought, and the carnival around it is the number one thought. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field, drifting back to the front of the warning track and making the catch as the left fielder Ian Happ, and that's going to retire Rojas for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Bryson Stott. And so what I mean by that is that you go to games and you see things, but also, too, is the production staff, whether it be ESPN, whether it be some of the other channels I've watched that are carrying Major League Baseball games, the focus is on the sidelights, not necessarily on the main thing. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's laced into right field. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. Going into the corner to pick it up is the right fielder, Tucker, rounding second and heading into third, but he overslid the bag. Is he going to be all right? Yes, he is, as he's just able to get back in time, as Bryson Stott is going to have himself a triple. We had to hold in on that one because we weren't sure if that ball was going to stay fair or not. We'll get a look at the replay on that one there. He absolutely hammered that thing into the right field corner. Tucker did a good job to play it off the wall as he did. He didn't go chasing in after it, ended up kicking off the wall, but sliding in safely with the triple is Bryson Stott. And that is going to bring up Trey Turner. Well, for Turner, he is 1 for 1 today. He was singled and was erased on a fielder's choice, as he bats here with the runner at third. Cubs have moved the infield in, so that ought to tell you what they think about tonight's game. It's going to be a close ball game, especially early on. Here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. Our friend Randy says Nico, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Amaya have done lots of damage at the bottom of the order. Yeah, if you can turn it over for the top part and really set the table, but they have been driving runs in. They've been producing runs. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So when the game started tonight, they said that the wind was blowing in from right field, and it has been swirling around. The flags were just showing that it was going from right to left. There's a fastball that swung on. This ball is grounded through the 4-hole into left field, and that is going to even the scoreline as Trey Turner's got himself an RBI single. It's going to bring home Bryson Stott with the first run here for the Phillies, and we are all locked up at ones. And that will bring up Bryce Harper to the plate. And for Harper, Well, he bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. He was left stranded aboard in the first inning as Tyon delivers a snap throw over to first base and getting back in time. That was one thing. There's a young player who we knew as a kid who used to come to our programming, is at the University of Northwestern playing on their baseball team. And I hadn't really checked much of his performance this year as that fastball is swung on and fouled away. And the count now 0-1 here to Harper. We had a kid, his name was Jackson Freeman. And looking in on his numbers, he's had 41 starts for the Wildcats. There's a fastball that is missed outside. The throw down to second. It's going to be in time. Turner's going to be caught stealing. That's going to go in the books as a 2-6. Good throw there by Amaya as he erases Turner for the second out of the inning. Turner didn't even argue, didn't even stay. He just got up and got off the field. I think he knew he didn't get the best of jumps. So he has gone for the second out of the inning. We didn't see if that was a ball or a strike to Harper. Last pitch was a changeup, was fouled away, and it's 1-2 strikes now. So kind of answers our own questions. So 1-2 strikes to Harper. As the right-hander Tyon gets ready to go again. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is hit foul down the right field line. Count is 1-2 on Harper. As Tyon ready to go again, it delivers a breaking ball. It's swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded by Horner on the backhand. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. Harper is going to be retired, and that is going to do it here for the Phillies. So ground out 4-3 ends the inning. They do get a run in the inning. The one-out triple off the bat of Bryson Stott. He was brought home on an RBI single by Try Turner. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the third inning. It is the Phillies 1 and the Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this from our friend Steve.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. Be sure to check out Steve after the game. He's got some wild and crazy things. We'll be back in 30 after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Randy pointed out, he says he was worried that every pitch would turn into a 10-minute stoppage. Minor leagues has got it going right, as it is done quickly. That is one positive thing for sure, is the pace of that. That's got to pick up. You know, I was thinking the other night when you watch some of the plays, or you got to play, if you got a pitcher that's cruising along, at what point in time do you just burn a challenge for the sake of burning a challenge to throw him out of his rhythm? There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Vidal Brian. Brian is batting an even 500, no homers, no RBIs in his early times here with the Cubs. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there is a breaking ball tap foul over on the first base side. Count goes even to 1-1. And you think about it, that you have the challenge system that's in place. And, as I said, certainly teams, if you've got your challenges late in the game, you might want to be able to do some of that stuff. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on. It is lifted into shallow left field. It's slicing. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And it is just going to bounce foul and into the netting on the left field line. And the count now goes to 1-2 on Bruin. That's one thing I was kind of curious about with the netting down the line, and especially the short area here, how they would rule that. If that ball would have landed fair and then bounced into the netting, it probably would have been a ground rule double. Certainly in circumstances, obviously, if it goes into the seats, that's the case. But how the netting would impact differently, I'm not sure. Because it'd be like hitting the wall as opposed to, obviously, with the soft netting, it then becomes out of play. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes to 2-2 on Brian. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nola rocking himself into the windup. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving back underneath it is Rojas. He's got room to make the catch. And that is going to retire Brujan for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the order in Ian Happ. 3 putouts so far tonight already for the center fielder of the Phillies, as he has been able to make the plays routinely. And that brings to the top of the order Happ to the plate, who's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to the center fielder his first time up. As Nola rocks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit high and foul down the first base line. It's going to reach the seats about 25 rows behind the first base dugout. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Happ digs himself in, and he's waiting here on the offering from Nola, who rocks and delivers. Pitch on the way. That's a changeup swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2, so no balls and 2 strikes. Waggling the bat here from the left side is the left-handed hitting, or the switch hitting left fielder of the Cubs, batting left-handed. Fastball misses up and in. It backs Happ off the plate. The count goes to 1-2. Look at this Cubs lineup. It is a very dangerous lineup. The only one that's really not got it going is Dansby Swanson. And if he can figure it out and pick up his pace, maybe somebody else will fall off a bit. But he is going to be a much-needed piece of this batting order as well, as that fastball misses outside. It's 2-2 to Happ. Looks like it could be exciting baseball into the month of July and August on the north side in Chicago. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Happ is in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the right fielder in Kyle Tucker. We'll take a glance at the out-of-town scoreboard, as pretty much everything now is final across Major League Baseball, with the exception of this one here. Behind Tariq Skubal, the Tigers knocked off the Orioles 7-0 today as they completed the sweep of the Orioles. There's a fastball that just misses down and away for ball 1 to Kyle Tucker. Tucker 0 for 1 today. He flew out to center field his first time up. And as our friend pointed out in the chat, Jonathan said it was a 7-1 lead the Mets blew today, as the Nationals came from behind to win 8-7 in a walk-off. Yeah, there is a pitch that was a breaking ball that had to appeal to the third base umpire, who said, Vic Carapazza said that Tucker had went around. Count goes even at 1-1. Here's the pitch. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. Count now goes to 1-2. Red Sox stomped on the Guardians today, 13-3 in Cleveland. The Guardians made 4 errors in that one. Minnesota Twins shut out the Angels on their getaway game. Joe Ryan got the win today. Twins won 5-0 there. Here's the pitch from Nola. It's a fastball that misses outside. Count goes to 2-2 on Tucker. Astros beat the Royals 7-3. Hunter Brown got the win. He goes to 4-1. His ERA is at 1.22. Hunter Brown, on some people's pundits, they figure there's a Cy Young Award in him, the former Wayne State University Warrior from downtown Detroit. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly over to second. Fielded by Stott. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Tucker on a ground out, 4-3. And that is going to do it here for the Cubs in their half inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. And your score here as we move to the third, it is all knotted up at ones, Phillies and Cubs. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll continue on with our look around the scoreboard when we return. Appreciate you guys for being here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll see you back here in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the middle 3 frames. It is going to be the top of the 4th inning. Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and JT Realmuto, the heart of the batting order for the Phillies, to come to bat here to face Jameson Taillon. Taillon, in his innings of work here so far for the Cubs today, he has worked his 3 innings. He has thrown 49 pitches, a little bit not quite as economical as one would think, but he has thrown 31 strikes. He is just over the 62% mark. And the first pitch delivered, breaking ball taken at the knees by Schwarber for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Schwarber, Castellanos, and Realmuto here to face the right-hander as Taillon rocks into the delivery and sends a fastball that swung out of his chops slowly back to down the first baseline, fielded by the pitcher, Taillon, and that is going to retire Schwarber on a ground out, 1-3. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Nick Castellanos. Well, for Castellanos, he is 1 for 1 today. He doubled and was stranded at third back in the 2nd inning. Castellanos, a big part of the ball club for the Phillies, as Taillon delivers a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned before, we'll put up our schedule here over the next little bit, and so hopefully you guys can check it out as it comes available. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Castellanos. Right-hander Taillon delivers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly to third. Brion fields it, fires across the diamond, and that is going to retire Castellanos on a ground out. Goes 5-3 in the books, so 2 up and 2 away quickly here for the Phillies. That's going to leave it all up to JT Realmuto. Well, for Realmuto, he is 0 for 1. He had a line drive that he hit right to the glove of the first baseman back in the second inning, right to Michael Busch. So he's officially 0 for 1 here. There's a fastball swung on his grounded foul over on the third base side. Count is quickly 0-1 to him. So no balls and 1 strike. If you are new to the streaming, don't forget to check out our StreamYard link. As there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. As we have put that into the chat. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This ball here is going to be golfed, and it is going to hook just foul down the left field line. Realmuto just got the barrel head on it a little too much as he was out in front, and that is going to run the count now to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes to JT Realmuto. When this one is over, we will give you all the roundup. It will continue on as we are looking in on the scores from around Major League Baseball. The Brewers knocked off the Cardinals 7-1. The Cardinals have been scuffling lately. They've fallen to 12-16. Brewers are now a game below 500. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called third strike. Oh, Realmuto stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched that one go by for out number 3, and that's going to do it here in the 4th. We'll come back and keep looking at the roundup around Major League Baseball of the scores. But for now, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Phillies go in order here in the 4th. Your score is the Phillies 1 and the Cubs 1. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here tonight with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is a quiet night, but who knows? Maybe some folks will be joining us a little bit later as we go along. It is 1-1. We'll be back in just a few after this. From our friend, Matt Hollis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We were doing our tour around Major League Baseball with these scores, but it's going to be Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, and Dansby Swanson to come to bat here in inning number 4. Some of the other scores from around the MLB: the Reds beat the Rockies today 8-1, 8-14-1 for Cincinnati, 1-3-0 for the Rocks. Lodolo getting his 3rd win of the year. He's going to have to be a big part of that pitching staff if the Reds are going to have a continued success. Here's the first pitch from Nola. It's a fastball taken at the knees for called strike. So Suzuki 0 for 1 today. He struck out his first time up. Nola has been pretty good. He's faced 12 batters and 10 first pitch strikes so far. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. Giants walked off the Rangers today. Giants improved their record to 19-10. It was Camilo Duvall in relief getting the win. The Giants are now 19-10 on the year. Who would have thunk that in the National League West? As the pitch from Nola as a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 1-2 on Suzuki. Oakland Athletics knocked off the White Sox in 10, 3-2. With that win, the Athletics have, I say Oakland Athletics, I guess it's the Sacramento A's or just the Athletics, have moved to 14-14 on the year. That in itself is a bit of a surprise, as Nola delivers a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Suzuki. Dodgers knocked off the Pirates at 9-2. As they improved to 18-10 on the year. Pirates dropped to 11-18. Padres lost at home to the Rays. Rays have gone back to the 500 mark, 4-2 in that one. Little got the win. And Fairbanks got his 6th save of the year. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, there was a lot of backdoor movement on that pitch. Suzuki stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 1. That is going to bring up the first baseman and Michael Busch. Diamondbacks knocked off the Braves 6-4. The Diamondbacks are 15-13. Braves are 3 games below 500. They have started to claw their way back after just an abysmal start. Breaking ball misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but we didn't get the sign on that. It is 1 ball and no strikes to Michael Busch. Again, the right-hander Nola rocking into the windup and delivering. There's a cutter that is swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-1. Mariners beat the Marlins in Seattle. It was 7-6. Evans got the win in that one, his first of the year. Munoz got his 10th save for the Mariners. Mariners are 16-12 now. Breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Michael Busch. And the Yankees and the Blue Jays played a doubleheader today in the Bronx, and it was a all-Bronx beatdown. 11-2 in the first game. Max Fried got his 5th win of the year. Second game, Yankees won 5-1 over the Blue Jays. It was Tim Hill getting the win in relief. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled right into the batter, and the count remains at 1-2 to Busch. But the Yankees, with those 2 wins today, go to 17-11. The Blue Jays, with the 2 losses, fell 2 games below the 500 mark. They're 13-15. Pitch on the way, fastball misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2 on Busch. And that is your scoreline all the way around. Our friend Randy says, every time the Cubs sign a Braves player, it doesn't work. Hayward and now Swanson. Well, the one thing about Swanson, his glove doesn't slump. His glove is Gold Glove quality. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Randy says, Bo Bichette is still at 0 home runs. Surprised? Not really. And I think if you're a Cub fan, there was a lot of rumors swirling around Bichette last year that he might be a Cub. Don't pick up the phone if the Blue Jays are calling. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Drifting back is Castellanos, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Busch for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it all up to the shortstop as the aforementioned Dansby Swanson is coming to the plate. Trying to think over the years who else would have been a Cub and a Brave besides those 2 that we mentioned. I have to go into the archives and try to find that out. I mean, there are certainly other players that have made the tour, Greg Maddux being one of them. As there's a first pitch, breaking ball swung on and missed. It seemed to work out okay for the Braves when Maddux went there. So no balls and 1 strike to Swanson. Yeah, Randy says Maddux is the opposite. As the 0-1 on the way. There's a fastball that swung through and missed. The count goes to 0-2. If I'm not mistaken, I think Maddox had a second tour with the Cubs later part of his career. I have to go back and take a look. He had bounced around with a number of teams, including the Padres. But I think the Cubs had another stop as the 0-2 on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-2 on Swanson. Kind of funny now that we've got our monetization back. I was just kind of laughing the other day. I said, we weren't monetized. We were getting all kinds of people coming to the stream. Now that we've been remonetized, it's been YouTube's maybe forgot to push us out as that breaking ball misses down. The count's 2-2. Go figure. Randy says, yeah, the second time around, he was a shadow as a former self. He was a poor man's Kyle Hendricks the second time. Yeah, the 2-2 on the way. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Swanson looked like a pitcher in the Japanese league who didn't want to hit as he stood there and watched that one go by. Strikeout number 2 in the inning for Nola. And by our count in the ball game, that would be the 6th by Aaron Nola, as he is going to set down the Cubs in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board here in the 4th. We're moving to the top of the 5th inning. It is 1-1 Phillies and Cubs. Glad you guys could be here with us. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. 1-1's your score as we move to the 5th. Yeah, we know it's not the NPB, but join our Facebook page anyway, as you are listening to MLB on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our Facebook page. Join us, and don't forget to leave a like. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 5. It'll be Max Kepler, Alec Bohm, and Johan Rojas to come to bat against Jameson Taillon. Taillon, 58 pitches through his 4 innings of work. He has retired the last 4 batters that he has faced. And on top of it, you've got the other piece as well, and that would be that he finally had a 1-2-3 inning in inning number 4. So here we go back to the live action as Max Kepler steps in, 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded to the shortstop his first time up. He takes a fastball outside for a ball. The count's 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Taillon rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll say it now, and I said it before. I think the next commissioner of baseball is going to be Theo Epstein. When Rob Manfred steps aside, I would not bat an eye that Epstein is going to take over. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 1-2. Manfred has announced, I think it was 2026 is going to be his last time as commissioner. I could see Theo Epstein being the guy to step in to run the ship. He's already got a couple of rings, so he doesn't need any more. There's a fastball swung on, is popped up behind second base. Moving over underneath it is the shortstop Swanson. He's there to make the catch. And Kepler is retired for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the third baseman into Alec Bohm. Well, Bohm comes to the plate. He's hitting 224. He's got entered the night hitting 224. He's 0 for 1 tonight as he had flown out to right field As the first pitch is on the way, it'll be a breaking ball tapped right back to the pitcher, fielded by Tyon, who throws to first. And that is going to retire Bohm on a ground out 1-3. So 2 quick outs here, and that's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Johan Rojas. Randy says, never thought about Theo doing that. He's my pick. He's the one who I think that would be the natural choice. I mean, he's got a World Series ring with the Cubs. He's got one with the Red Sox. And all he has to do now is there's nothing more to prove at the general manager's level. As there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Rojas. He could step in, be the commissioner of Major League Baseball. And I mean, let's face it, it's not a hard act to follow when you have to follow Rob Manfred. You come in there looking pretty good. There's a breaking ball swung on, popped up behind home plate. Moving over underneath it is Amaya. He's there. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it here. That's a pretty quick 1-2-3 inning here for Jameson Taillon as he retires the Phillies in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning, halfway through this one. The scores, the Cubs 1 and the Phillies 1. We'll be back in just a few right after this, and we'll continue to chat with our chat. We'll continue to keep you guys entertained as best we can. We'll be right back. 1-1, heck of a ball game. We'll sure there's more here to see it with us.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Nico Horner, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Miguel Amaya to come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th for the Cubs. Aaron Nola, 64 pitches through his 4 innings of work. Jameson Taillon, 65 pitches in his 5 innings of work. As both of these starters here have kept the bats in check tonight so far. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Phillies. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for the Cubbies. Our friend Randy says JT is cruising along. Yeah, he is. Jameson Taillon has been very good tonight. As the first pitch on the way, squaring to bunt and pulling back is Nico Horner, and he takes that one for a fastball outside for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. I was just looking at going back at Jameson Taillon for a moment. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. When Jameson Taillon struck out Bryson Stott to lead the game, that was his 1,000th strikeout of his MLB career. And you think about it, what Taillon had to endure a little bit. He was, the Pirates had an injury to his elbow, had to get Tommy John as there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And he really took him a while to get healthy with the Pirates. Arguably, the Yankees were where he kind of got back on his feet. Now it looks like he's pitching fairly well for the Cubs. If he could be the number 3 starter for the Cubs, or a 2 or a 3 in their rotation, give them solid innings, that'd be pretty good. Our friend Randy says we forgot to mention Jeff Blauser. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be hooked foul down the left field line into the seats, and the count remains at 1-2. I don't know how good Blauser was with the Braves. I would call him a steady player. I never really cared for Blauser particularly much. He was productive, but I think it was more all glove, no bat. syndrome, which you're kind of witnessing with Dansby. There's a breaking ball swung on it, has popped up over on the right side, playable there for Bryson Stott, who makes the catch, and that is going to retire Horner for the first out of the inning. One up and one away, and it's going to bring up Pete Crow Armstrong. Personally speaking, I also think that the way things are kind of looking at here is it's going to become a battle of the bullpens, and that's where the game can get screwy. A game with the Diamondbacks and the Cubs that we watched a couple of weeks ago that ended up 13-11 for the Cubs. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike to Crow Armstrong. It was a 2-1 game going into the seventh. That's when all the craziness happened in that game. After the seventh inning, there was 21 runs scored by the two teams, the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. Crazy. As there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes 0-2 to Armstrong, Crow Armstrong. So Crow Armstrong digs himself back in, ready to go again. He's got himself in his loaded position right off the bat. Pitch on the way. It is a fastball that misses down and away. The count goes to 1-2 on Pete Crow Armstrong. Batting from the left side here against the righty Nola, who rocks and delivers. Breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away again, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Crow Armstrong was a product of that Harvard Westlake Secondary School program in California. A number of major league players have come out of that school. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. If I'm not mistaken, that's also where Jack Flaherty and John Duplantier and Jack Flaherty, as I mentioned before, Max Fried, I believe, also went there. Or was it Lucas Giolito was another one? As the pitch is on the way, it is a fastball swung on, lifted into left center field. Moving over is the left fielder, Max Kepler. He calls off Rojas, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Crow Armstrong for the second out of the inning. 2 gone. It leaves up to the catcher, Miguel Amaya. Randy says the first team to allow 10 runs in an inning after the third and still win a game. Was that the case? I thought the Cleveland Indians, before they became the Guardians, were one of those teams that had something like that as well, but maybe they didn't score 10 runs. But it was a huge inning late in the game, something like that, where they had come from behind to win. Fastball misses outside to Amaya. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Nola rocks into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies and Cubs, Sunday Night Baseball from Wrigley. And you were listening to the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel for our thoughts and opinions on this. As the right-hander kicks and fires, it is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Giving chase is Kepler, but it's going to drop down in front of him. Rounding first is Amaya, and he is going to hold it on his turn and retreat back to first. Good throw by Kepler to keep him to a long single. So a single there for Amaya. And that'll bring up the third baseman in Vanal Brujan. And so for Brujan, he is 0 for 1 today. He flew out to center his first time up. As the right-hander holds to the set now, delivers. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Castellanos moving back, and he's going to make the catch on the edge of the warning track. And Brujan is going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here. Well, the Cubs, they strand a runner. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left the board. We're now through 5 complete at Wrigley. Your score is the Phillies 1 and the Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 6th in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Here is our friend, Steve Rademacher. Once again, after the game, be sure to go check him out. He's got all kinds of crazy stuff on his channel for your viewing pleasure. We'll be right back in just a few.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is our friend Steve Rademacher checking in. Our friend Randy says, Cubs radio, always play attendance guess game. You be my eyes. 33,000 tonight. Well, I'll let you know in just a couple moments what our thoughts are, but it is a pretty good crowd. We'll come back and give you our thoughts. The only thing we can't always get is the upper deck, and that sometimes can be the difference maker. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in 30. Our friend Randy says, what is the attendance? We'll get you that in a second here. It is going to be the top of the order, Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper to come to bat against Jameson Tyon. The first pitch was taken for a ball. It is 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander delivers again. It's a changeup that misses down. Count goes to 2-0. I often wonder with Tyon, if his fitness level was a little bit better, would he be able to get into the 7th inning? And I guess we're a test here against the top of the order. The 1-1 on the way is a fastball taken, or 2-0 on the way, taken for a called strike. Now the count goes to 2-1. The current capacity at Wrigley Field is 41,649. So I'm going to guess tonight's attendance is going to be 35,254. That's my guess for you, as there's a fastball swung on its line right to the glove of the first baseman, Michael Busch. And Stott is going to go down just like JT Realmuto did earlier on a line drive for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the shortstop and Trey Turner. So I'll go 35-254. It's a really nice night for a game in April at Wrigley Field. And not a lot of empty seats in the lower deck as the pitch from Tyon is on the way. It is a fastball that is cued foul over on the first base side to count as 0-1. But again, you can't always see in the upper decks, but it is Sunday night baseball, and so the Cubs are going to have themselves a pretty good, healthy crowd for that. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. Kind of wonder sometimes if they'd be better served maybe with a team that's a little bit closer, like the Cubs, Tigers, or a division rival like the Reds on Sunday night. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count is 1-2. And that where there you also get a visiting attendance in as well, much like you would see on the East Coast. And the game was in Philadelphia. If you had the Mets or the Yankees in town, you draw a lot of visiting fans. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So our friend Randy will have to do that. He says, if it weren't school night, attendance would be higher. Yeah, if it was a Saturday night game, for sure. There's a breaking ball swung on, is grounded over to short, fielded by Swanson. He throws to first, and Turner's in the books. Ground out 6-3. That's the first time tonight Turner's been retired, as he has singled his first 2 trips up. So he is in the books. That's going to bring up Bryce Harper to the plate. And it was a local time, if I'm not mistaken. That was a 6 o'clock start. there might have been a decent kid crowd, because if you've got a 6:10 start local time, game's done by 9, they might be okay to get them around. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul down the left field line as it drifts into the seats. Count is 0-1 to Harper. Randy says, any Philly fans throwing batteries? I have a funny story on that. There was a fellow who used to be an area scout here for the Red Sox. He's running the college program, and Chris Pritchett told the story when he was called up when Rico Bronya got put on the injured list in Philadelphia as the right-hander Tyon delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. Cor Armstrong retreats a couple of steps, hauls it in. I'll tell that story when I come back in just a moment, as that is going to retire Harper. It's a quick inning here for Tyon, and I'm sure we're going to see him for the 7th. There was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board, and by our counts, that's 10 in a row retired by Jameson Tyon. We're moving now to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is still 1-1 Cubs and Phillies. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging around with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. We are skipping to the bottom half of the 6th inning, and it is our friend Steve Rademacher. Check him out after the game.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today, and every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to cans of soup to ravioli to sport card packs that you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open, and I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel, tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in the funny pages, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the 6th inning, and we got the top of the order to come to bat for the Cubs in Happ, Tucker, and Suzuki. I was telling the story a little bit about Chris Pritchett, who had made his appearance for the Philadelphia Phillies. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. So at a home game, he's up to replace Rico Bronya, as he was coming to bat or being announced. The fans in Philly started chanting, "We want Rico, we want Rico." And that's just to the home team's players that they didn't like. As that fastball swung on and fouled away, the count now goes to 0-2 on Ian Happ. And so he said they could be pretty brutal to not just to the visiting players, but also to their own team, especially when you got guys that come up and haven't been around so much. Well, that is going to bring the count to 0-2 here to Ian Happ as the pitch is on the way from Nola. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul. Count remains at 0-2. Nola at 78 pitches through the first 5 innings, as he has been fairly economical. One of his better appearances here on the year. You can't expect that Aaron Nola is going to be as roughed up as he was throughout the year as the pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it is Rojas. He's there to make the catch. And Happ is going to be retired for the first out here of inning number 6. So one up and one away. 4 putouts tonight there by the center fielder Rojas. As it is now going to bring up Tucker to the plate. Our friend Randy says Pat Burrell was not a fan of Philly fans either. Yeah, he was a hometown Philly who hated the fans. I don't think Alec Bohm necessarily endears himself to the Philly faithful either. As Nola rocks into the windup and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. I remember he was hot mic'd saying, or at least they picked up his lip reading, and how it said he hated that place. So not what the home fans want to do to endear themselves to you. So no balls and one strike to Kyle Tucker. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Nola, who rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This is popped up over into left center field. Camping out underneath it is Kepler. And the wind takes it for a little ride at the end there, but he's there to make the catch, and that's going to retire Tucker for the second out of the inning. The second put out of the night for Max Kepler is going to leave it up to the designated hitter in Seiya Suzuki. Well, Suzuki has had a rough night at the office. He has struck out swinging and struck out looking. 0 for 2 tonight as he bats here for the third time. As the right-hander rocks and delivers, there is a fastball swung on. This is popped up over on the left side. Looks like it's playable as Bohm goes into foul territory. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it as the Cubs go quietly and in order here in the sixth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 6 complete at Wrigley Field. Your score is the Phillies won and the Cubs won. The back third of the ballgame is just around the corner. We're glad you guys could pop in with us. We'll be back in just a bit. 1-1 when we return.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the back third of the ball game. It is going to be coming to bat for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and JT Realmuto. That would be the heart of the order for the Phillies, as it is Jameson Taillon who has been very smooth through his 6 innings of work. 76 pitches, 51 have been for strikes here tonight, as he will be facing Schwarber, Castellanos, and Realmuto. And we were saying earlier, probably what's going to happen is that things will start to go sideways when the bullpen will be upon us. And that is the concern that I would have for both of these ball clubs. When that starts to happen, look out. Haven't got the attendance updated yet for our friend Randy, but I'll get that for you when that becomes available. As Taillon is ready to go here facing Kyle Schwarber. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball. Take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Schwarber tonight has popped to second and grounded back to the pitcher in his 2 trips. He is in scoring position when he steps into the box. Cubs fans will remember him from their World Series run. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Schwarber. Kind of makes you wonder, after they won the World Series, how they tore down that entire ball club. And now they've kind of rebuilt it back up again. But that was a fast teardown. You would have thought that the Cubs win one and maybe take a crack at a couple of more. Not so fast, everybody in Wrigleyville. As there's a fastball swung on it, is popped up in the infield. Coming underneath it is Swanson. He's there. He's called everybody off, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Schwarber. He's gone for the first out of the inning, so 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Nick Castellanos to the plate. And by our counts, that's 11 in a row now set down by Taillon. He's been very good here tonight. in a pitcher's duel against Aaron Nola. As the right-hander delivers a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. I don't know if Chris Bryant was so much a flash in the pan as much as, I guess it helped a bit, because obviously with him and Rizzo there's a breaking ball swung on it, is popped up into shallow center field. Moving over underneath it is Crow Armstrong. He's there to make the catch, and that's 2 quick outs here in the 7th. As Castellanos is gone for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it up to JT Realmuto. I think that Bryant also took the money and run. You think of Bryant in that situation, how they kept him down for team control. Of course, those were the rules. And so when it came time for him to opt out and to get some money or become a free agent, get some money, chose the Rockies. And basically picking the Rockies, he is in no man's land, never to be seen or heard from again, as that breaking ball misses down. The ball 1 to Realmuto. Realmuto lined out to first, his first time up, and struck out looking in the 4th. 0 for 2 tonight for the Phillies catcher. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Realmuto. But Bryant took the money and ran, and ended up not even playing third base, ended up pretty much a left field regular, and you'd have to really dig out to see what he's doing these days. There is a breaking ball swung on, and it is fouled away, and the count goes to 2-1 on Realmuto. When you are in Colorado, you are lost in a lot of ways. Kind of too bad. The Rockies, that ballpark is a nice park. You get some good crowds. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is 2-2 to Realmuto. Javi Baez's best ball was with the Cubs, but probably better served as a second baseman. He's not a shortstop with Detroit. Well, he is a shortstop, but he's not. Only in name. Fastball swung on. One hop, and it eats up Dansby Swanson, and it gets through him into left field. I'm going to have to wait to see how they're going to score it. Me personally, I probably would give an error on that. Got to get a glove on it at least. And that is going to be a 2-out base runner here for the Phillies, and it's going to bring the left fielder Max Kepler to the plate. We'll look at that one again. That was the old-fashioned Olay. Ball was scorched. It was a one-hopper, and Swanson dropped to a knee and wasn't able to even really get much of a glove on the ball. We'll see what they rule that. It looks like they're going to rule it as a hit. And it can be doubly unfortunate because they're going to have a visit to the mound here. I hope they do keep Tyon in the game here. It's the bottom part of the order. It's not like they've got the big bats coming up yet. So Realmuto is going to be awarded a base hit. That's been the first hit that the Phillies have had since the 3rd inning. He's aboard with a 2-out single, and that'll bring Max Kepler to the plate. Randy is right about Swanson. I'm not so sure. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think time's going to tell. We'll have that conversation in July. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball's belted down the right field line, but it's going to hook foul. The count is 0-1 to Kepler. Curious to see how Swanson is. I think he's got a wife who was I think she's a soccer player with the American women's national team. It was a pretty good one as well. Some athletic genes in that family. Here's the 0-1. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded over to second, fielded by Horner, throws to first, and that is going to do it as Kepler's going to be retired on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that's going to do it here for the Phillies as they go down here. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. You're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Phillies 1 and the Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. We appreciate you guys for listening in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of inning number 7. It'll be the heart of the order for the Cubs to come to bat. Michael Busch, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner. One thing I will say is that I'm curious to see when we get into this part of the ball game exactly how it'll play out if they're going to try to bunt and try to scratch and claw out a run. Certainly when you watch the Japanese league, that is what they will do. They'll scratch and claw, trying to get themselves a run here and there. As the first pitch on the way from Aaron Nola is a fastball that misses inside for a ball. The count is 1-0 to Michael Busch. Busch tonight 0 for 2. He's grounded out to first, and he has flown out to right in his 2 trips. As the right-hander Nola rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There is a changeup that is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. Both of the starting pitchers tonight, Taillon and Nola, have been very, very good. Nola ready to go again here as he gets the sign from Realmuto. As he rocks and delivers. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count goes to 1-2. As we said early on the outset, this game here is going to turn into the battle of the bullpens. I'd like to see Taillon come out for another inning. But I don't know if that is in the cards, if he is probably going to be given the fist pumps and the beat down or the pat down, and he'll go into the showers with a no decision potentially, as there's a fastball swung on it. His check swing foul down the left field line. Count remains at 1-2 to Busch. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll get a couple of the Japan Baseball Report podcasts up this week, so hopefully you guys can go and check it out. Got a little bit of work to do on that tonight. So that'll be our project for this evening, as that ball is swung on a chop foul over on the first base side. No, it looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Taillon. Our friend Randy is hoping that he's coming back, but now you can see that they're giving him the fist pumps in the dugout. Be the end of the night, and that's where the game gets exciting. There's a changeup that misses outside. The count goes to 2-2. You think about it last night, it was 8 innings from Trevor Bauer on 129 pitches in that game that we called with the Bay Stars and the Carp. And then they brought their closer in for the 9th. Well, getting to the 9th could be the problem. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 2s to Michael Busch. It's just not the way anymore. They used to talk about, there was a former player, and I believe he was a Cub at one time too, Milt Pappas, was with the Orioles, and Jim Palmer used to call him a 5 and a fly guy. When he was in the lead after 5, hey, I'm good. Let's take me out. I'm ready to come out. If he was trailing after 5, he would want to stay in and try to get the win. So there's a pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down. Appeal to the third base umpire, but they say that Busch didn't go. The count now is 3-2. So that's what they referred to him as, a 5 and a fly guy. Give me 5 and I'm flying out the door if I got the lead. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander delivers. Breaking ball misses outside, and that's going to be ball 4. So the Cubs have a runner. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Here you got Dansby Swanson coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight, batting a .188 on the year. This, to me, is a automatic bunt situation to get that runner into scoring position. Take the bat out of Swanson's hands because he's already taken the bat out of his hands himself. See if you can bunt it over, and if you're able to get him into scoring position, then you'd have Horner and Crow Armstrong to drive him home, which has been the offense tonight for the Cubs. And the first pitch to Swanson is swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. He's been getting a steady diet of breaking balls tonight, Swanson, and he hasn't been able to figure out any of them yet. So no balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting shortstop of the Cubs. As Nola throws over to first and diving back to the bag. I'm not sure if that's where his average has fallen to, but it might as well. One of the things a few years ago when we were running the college program, we did a study as we recorded all the bunts in practice, and we found out the best bunters were also your best hitters. There's a fastball swung on. It's rolled over to third. They go to second for 1, back to first, and it's going to be a double play. Swanson wants that one to look at. We're going to get a challenge more than likely here. But if you hit the ball out of the infield, you don't have to worry about a challenge. Craig Counsell wants to go upstairs. At the bare minimum, it's going to be a fielder's choice. We'll get a look at the replay ourselves. That's the one thing Swanson will win. He's going to win that. That call will be overturned. So we'll put it in a fielder's choice, 5-4 in the books. We don't need to go to replay. We've seen the replay and we know what it is. So Bush has gone for the first out. Swanson safe at first. But that was so close to being a double play. And just as we talked about, bunt the ball over. It is a hugely wasted at bat, as our friend Randy in the chat says. Couldn't have thought of a bigger waste. So if they could have got him over to second base, then they've got 2 cracks to bring him home. Now you're still 270 feet from home plate. You still got a chance to be able to score him, but your percentages have just fallen significantly. So Nico Horner stepping in here, who's 1 for 2 tonight. He's doubled and scored the Cubs' only run. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Horner. Horner raised his season average up to 292. No home runs on the year, so not a lot of extra base pop in that regard in his bat. See how Horner is going to be able to play it out through the year. There's a fastball that is lifted into right field, racing in and making the catch is Castellanos. He's going to throw it to first base because that's going to double off Swanson. And not only was it a wasted at bat, what a wasted inning that was. Double play. It's going to go into the books 9-3 on the putout as Swanson was in motion. He's gone for the third out of the inning. And it is going to be an unconventional 1-2-3 inning here for the Cubs in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're now moving to the 8th. Your score is the Phillies 1 and the Cubs 1. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for listening in. Our friend Randy couldn't have said it any better. Get him on, get him over, get him in, and that was not the case here. Back in a few. Appreciate you for being here. We got ourselves a 1-1 ball game as we move to the top of the 8th. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we support Steve Rademacher, as he is got all our entertainment needs covered on his channel. Be sure to go check him out when you get an opportunity. Well, we are moving ourselves to the top of inning number 8, and we're just getting a update to see where we're at in terms of pitching. It is going to be Porter Hodge coming in to replace Jameson Taillon. So Porter Hodge on in relief here. And the first pitch he delivers to Alec Bohm misses way outside for ball 1. So ball 1 and no strikes to Bohm. Hodge working from the right side here. He gets the sign from his catcher, Amaya. He rocks into the delivery. There's another breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. For Hodge this year, it's his 14th appearance. He's worked 12 2/3 innings. He's got a 2-0 record on the year. He's allowed 8 runs, all of which has been earned. He's walked 5 and struck out 15. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-1 on Bohm. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Hodge is coming off a pretty good 2024 campaign, but this year he has not got himself locked in quite yet, as there's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that misses up and in. The count is now 3-1 to Bohm. As our friend Randy pointed out, the Cub bullpen is a nail-biting situation. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. The count now goes to 3-2 on Bohm. You never know what you're going to get with the Cubs when they coming out of the pen. Our friend Randy with the super chat. We appreciate you there. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. Randy says it's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun up until the fact that now that the Cubs bullpen is on the mound, now it's time to get to the liquor cabinet and start hoisting down a couple of shots at Crown Royal or Jack Daniels, whatever you prefer, because this is about where it's going to be white knuckle time for Cub fans. Alec Bohm with the leadoff walk. That brings Johan Rojas to the plate. Let's see if the Phillies know how to bunt, as he squares and takes a fastball outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Appreciate you again, Randy, for your support. Glad you can make it into the channel. Glad you found us. Wish a few more people would find us for the Sunday night game tonight, but we don't do a ton of Major League games, but when we do, we're glad those who can come in. There's a fastball that's popped up, foul behind home plate. Count is 1-1. So the Phillies trying to get the runner over here. Let's see if their execution is any better than what we witnessed from the Cubs in that last half inning. I would have thought Craig Counsell would have been better than that. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball and is bunted foul right into the feet of the catcher. So let's see if the Phillies and Rob Thompson stay with the bunt with 2 strikes. Rob Thompson, of course, not very happy as his center fielder is not able to get the ball down here in play. So here comes the 1-2 offering as the pitch is on the way. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the right side, fielded by Horner. They go to second for 1, back to first, and it's a double play. Oh, boy. And that's exactly what I talk about. This is why when I watch Major League Baseball, the fundamental skills of the big league players, there's no other league that is more talented than the MLB. But when it comes to doing the little things that win ball games, bunting and base running are the 2 most neglected parts of the game. And there it is on full display right there. Not able to get the bunt down, ends up as a double play. And the Cubs now are got the top of the order in Bryson Stott. The first pitch fastball is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Just drive you absolutely insane. At this level, they can't get a darn bunt down. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. And then on top of it, not able to get the runner over with the at-bat. Nice play by Nico Horner. You got to tip your hat to the defense of the Cubs. So no balls and 2 strikes. And there's a fastball swung on. Grounded softly to second. Fielded by Horner. He throws to first. I don't know, the Cubs are going to feel good about themselves as the Phillies go unconventionally in order here in inning number 8. There was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now moving to bottom inning number 8. It is the Cubs won and the Phillies won. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging out here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher once again. He's here to keep you entertained.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate your support and everybody out there. Steve again here, obviously, with the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, we have Bernie Brewer on my favorite beverage of choice right there, along with a card of Bernie. Yay! Now, we got some special guests here. I'm not just talking about our Hall of Fame lineup. I must be in the front row. Hey, come on there, Robin. I got 3,000 hits. What do you have? Well, I was the all-time saves leader, and I got 1.5 feet on you. Okay, Raleigh, settle down, buddy. Now, none of this could be possible without Harvey's Wallbangers. There's Harvey. And who could forget the Fonz? Hey.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Pete Crow Armstrong, Miguel Amaya, and Vidal Bruyan to come to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. Friend Randy says, are you going to be doing a Japanese game in a few hours? No, I'll be tomorrow night. We'll be on that one there. It is going to be the Tigers and the Dragons from the Vantolin Dome in Nagoya. We have a pitching change. It's going to be Orion Kerkering, who is on to replace Aaron Nola. So Kerkering on here in relief. We'll get you the specs on him in just a moment here, as Crow Armstrong will lead it off here. Kerkering, the right-hander, 24 years old, delivers a breaking ball that misses up and away for ball 1-0 to Crow Armstrong. He has worked 9 1/3 innings this year. He's allowed 10 hits, 6 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 6 and struck out 9. As there is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count's 1-1 to Armstrong. Does have a record of 2-1, and it's his 12th appearance for the right-hander. He's coming off a pretty solid 2024 campaign where he appeared in 64 ball games for the Phillies. And there is a fastball that swung on and fouled away. That last pitch was at 98, so 1 ball and 2 strikes to Crow Armstrong. Yep, tomorrow night will be the Japanese game. I'll double check, make sure that it's not incorrectly put up on our channel. As there's a breaking ball swung on, it is lifted into deep right field. Drifting back on it is Castellanos. He's going to make the catch. Every time the ball goes to Castellanos, I start biting my fingernails. When he was a Detroit Tiger early in his career, he was a third baseman. And then they started to move him out into right field. He was there with the Reds. And certainly playing for the Phillies, he is a favorite of Dave Dombrowski, the manager of the Phillies, who originally drafted him in Detroit. But boy, oh boy, his arm is not a great right fielder's arm. And his roots to the ball can be an adventure sometimes. There's a first pitch fastball delivered to Amaya that swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Amaya is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. As the right-hander Kerkering leans in, gets the side from his catcher, JT Realmuto. And the 0-1 on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. Drifting back underneath it is Rojas. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to put away Amaya for the second out of the inning. That is going to leave it all up to the third baseman, Vidal Bruyan. May try to squeeze in a major league game tomorrow. I've got nothing else going on my docket, so I'll take a look and see what the MLB has to offer in terms of their schedule. Kind of curious to see who they would have for the starters. There's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. It was Brian who squared the bunt, but he pulled back. If I was to do a game tomorrow, it'd probably be one of the earlier games. It'd have to be, I would say, probably around, it might be even the Mets Nationals, although I don't like the pitching matchup there. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to Brian. Count is 1-1. Although I could possibly tinker with one of the others. There's a ground ball over to second. Stott fields it, throws to first, and that's going to be a ground out 4-3 as Brian's in the book for the third out of the inning. And the Cubs, well, they go in order here in their eighth, and they go quietly. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the ninth inning. We are still locked at ones. We'll be back in just a few. I'll come back and take a look at that schedule tomorrow. And we'll take a look at the pitchers and see who's throwing, because maybe there's something that we could jump on. By the looks of it, could be Yankees-Orioles, because Tomoyuki Sagano goes for the O's. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for being here. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That is our friend Matt Hollis. We appreciate everybody who's jumped in to listen to us on our stream, whether you listen live or on delay. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is going to be the top of the ninth inning, and it means Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber to come to bat here for the Phillies to start the ninth inning. Trey Turner is 2 for 3 tonight in his trips to the plate. But we do have a pitching change, as it is going to be Ryan Presley who is replacing Porter Hodge. So Presley on in relief. The former Houston Astro who was brought in a trade this season for the Chicago Cubs. Presley, the 36-year-old, he has got a record of 2-1 here in the 2025 season. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Trey Turner. Turner, Harper, and Schwarber here to face the right-hander. He's making his 12th appearance. He's worked in 11 innings. He's allowed 12 hits. He's given up 4 runs, 3 of which have been earned. He has walked 6 and struck out only 5. But he's got an ERA of 2.45, does Presley. So the right-hander gets his sign as he's ready to go. Our friend Randy said the game is moving quickly. Yeah, here on the top of the ninth inning, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count runs even to Turner at 1-1. Turner, 2 hits in his 3 trips. He's also driven in the Phillies' only run back in the third inning. 2 for 3 on the night. As the right-hander Presley ready to go, he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that is swung through and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes to Turner. Again, the right-hander leans in and he gets his sign from his catcher. He works himself set to the belt. And now the pitch is on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on, is grounded over to third. Brian fields it, throws to first, and that is going to retire Turner on a ground out 5-3. He's in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Bryce Harper. And for Harper, well, he's hitless tonight. He is 0 for 3. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. He's grounded out, and he has flown out to center field in his 3 trips. As the right-hander Presley works himself into the set position, here comes the first offering to Harper. Fastball misses upstairs for ball, and the count is 1-0. Harper reaches out, touches the plate, and he's waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. Works himself set now, delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the first base side. Count runs even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Harper. Harper and then Schwarber here in the inning as the right-hander works himself to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's chopped over the head of the pitcher. Fielded by Swanson. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Harper on a ground out 6-3. He's gone for out number 2, and it's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Kyle Schwarber. As our friend Randy pointed out a few minutes ago, this game is moving along quickly. You bet it is. Part of that is the pitcher's throwing strikes. And on top of that, not only the pitcher's throwing strikes, but the defender is making the plays easy. No errors here tonight in this one. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Schwarber. Schwarber digs himself in, waiting here on the offering from the right-handed throwing Presley. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 109 pitches thrown by the Cubs tonight. And 74 of them have been for strikes. That's a pretty good strike rate. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count now goes to 2-1. Again, Schwarber waiting here as the right-hander gets his sign from Miguel Amaya. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's on its way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-2. You can just see Schwarber on his heels a little bit right now. Makes you wonder if he's seeing the ball well or not. Randy says that huge out of Harper. Yeah, if you could get through this part of the order here, it's not like the bottom part of the Phillies order isn't very good. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. 3-2 to Schwarber. But I think I'd rather take my chances with the bottom 5 than the top 4 in the order. And that is where they're at here. And the Cubs will have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th if they are able to retire Schwarber here. But they're not, as it's a breaking ball that misses down and it gets away from Amaya. It's going to be ball 4. So Schwarber's got himself a 2-out walk, and that is going to bring Nick Castellanos to the plate. Well, for Castellanos, as he comes to bat here, we're going to have a pinch runner who is coming on to run for Kyle Schwarber. And that's going to be Edmundo Sosa on to run. So Edmundo Sosa, who has been a shortstop in the past, also plays a little bit outfield for the Phillies at times. As the right-hander Presley delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on it. It's chopped foul over on the third base side. Count is quickly 0-1 to Castellanos. Castellanos doubled and was stranded at third in the second inning. He's grounded out and flown out in his 3 trips. So 1 for 3 tonight for the veteran right fielder of the Phillies. Randy says, just like the 2015 World Series, it gets on and then it's a pinch runner. There's a fastball that misses up and in. 1-1 to Castellanos. Yeah, clogging up the base paths. And I never understood why they got the snowplow leading off for the Phillies as much as they do. Get the rabbits like Turner and Stott up at the top of the order so you're not plugging up the base paths. Breaking ball that's waved at and missed. The count goes to 1-2. I don't understand the logic in that. I mean, I'm sure there's an explanation. I'd just love to hear it. Why you got your slowest guy in the universe leading off for your ball club? So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Castellanos takes a breaking ball down. It's now 2-2. This would be a time when we watch the Japanese ball, a 2-2 pitch right here. This might be a time where they would put the runner in motion. There's 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Castellanos. It would be more of a run and hit than it would be a hit and run. Let's see what we have here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Moving back onto the warning track, up against the wall. But making the catch is Ian Happ right against the ivy. He's going to pull that one in. And that is going to do it here for the Phillies. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. A deep fly ball off the bat of Castellanos ends up as the 3rd out. No runs in the inning, no hits. There was no errors, but there was a runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 9th inning. Your score is the Cubs won and the Phillies won. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the bottom of the 9th in just a few. We appreciate you guys for being here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Here is our friend, Matt Hollis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. So, Randy, if you want to go back and review the tapes when I made the prediction of how many people were going to be in attendance tonight, I picked 35,254. The reported attendance for tonight's game, 35,761. So I was off by 507. We were that close. So almost had it right down to the exact amount of popcorn sold and hot dogs as well. So that's your official attendance tonight, 35,761. So coming to bat for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 9th inning, it's going to be Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, and Seiya Suzuki. So I was not that far away. It is a pitching change as Jose Alvarado is come in to replace Orion Kirkring. So Jose Alvarado is in, as the right-hander will now take over. So Castellanos gave everybody a scare, including our friend Randy, who was in here cheering for the Cubs. Alvarado, the left-hander on the season, he is 2-0. He's making his 13th appearance. He has also got himself 5 saves. He's worked 12 2/3 innings. He's allowed 13 hits, 3 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 17. So the question is who's going to do the damage? The first batter is Ian Happ. He turns around to bat right-handed for the first time tonight. Takes a breaking ball down for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Happ has flown to center twice, and he has struck out in his 3 trips. As Alvarado kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that is swung on. It's popped up on the infield. He's pointing and is coming in as the first baseman, Harper. And Harper's going to make the catch. Get out of the way, Alvarado. You almost ran interference on Harper. As Happ is retired for the first out of the inning. I'll take Suzuki potentially to end it on a 1 swing of the bat. And if it ends up going to the top of the next inning, and then I will put my nickels down on Max Kepler to give the lead to the Phillies. Well, that brings Tucker to the plate. Tucker is officially 0 for 3. He's flown to left, flown to center, and grounded out. And he takes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs for ball 1, 1-0. Tucker batting from the left side. We commented that last year with the Astros, the last half of the season, he started wearing batting gloves. He was for a long time one of the few players who didn't wear gloves. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. I'm trying to figure in my mind, there was somebody the other night that we saw was only using one glove. And I can't remember who that was. So we've got 2 balls and no strikes as the lefty delivers. Fastball misses upstairs. It's now 3 balls and no strikes. I have to go back and look at my records at who was using the one glove. Oh, it was Jace Jung of the Detroit Tigers. He was using his Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence used to swing with one glove. So 3 balls and no strikes to Tucker as Alvarado ready to deliver here. Here comes the 3-0 offering. Fastball catches the outside corner. Tucker thought it was ball 4. He was ready to get rid of his shin guard. I don't think Tucker really wants any part of Alvarado on that ball 3 pitch that whistled by his nostrils. He has to stand in here to face him. So here we go. Here comes the pitch. Another fastball. This one at 100. Take it for a called strike, and the count is 3-2. Randy said Mark Grace used 0 gloves. Yeah, sometimes I used to not like swinging with the batting gloves. The feel of the bat. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep left field, but not deep enough. Plenty of room for Max Kepler there to haul that one in, and that is going to retire Tucker for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that'll bring up Seiya Suzuki to the plate. Suzuki tonight is 0 for 3. Struck out twice and popped to third in his 3 trips to the plate. It's a pretty sweet swing by Kyle Tucker. He just got underneath that pitch a little bit. So Suzuki striding to the plate. The first pitch here is a fastball at 99 on the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Like Suzuki was a little hot-footed in the batter's box there. He didn't look like he was standing in with full of confidence. As the pitch is on the way again, there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2. So Cubs down to their final strike here in the 9th inning. If they don't do anything here, it's going to extras. 1-1, we are tied in the bottom of the 9th inning. So the left-hander Alvarado gets his sign from his catcher. He works himself set to the belt. And the pitch is on the way. It is a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. Suzuki didn't like it. Got to tell you, that ain't the home cooking we would thought. Mark Ripperger pulls the string on him, and he goes down for out number 3, and that's going to do it here in the 9th inning. The Cubs go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the top of the 10th. Your score is Philadelphia 1, Chicago 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Randy says 9 innings in 2 hours 10. Actually, 2 hours 20 because the game was 10 past the hour when it started, but it's still pretty impressive. I guess we got a lot of time for extra innings. We'll be back here in just a few.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be a pitching change. It's going to be Julian Mayweather on to replace Ryan Presley. He's going to be the 4th pitcher used tonight by the Chicago Cubs. So Merriweather on in relief of Ryan Presley, the former Toronto Blue Jay, is onto the hill. So for Merriweather, well, on the season, he's making his 12th appearance. He's been pretty decent for the Cubs. He has worked 10 and a third innings. He's allowed 9 hits. He has walked 3 and struck out 10, and he has only allowed 2 runs, pitching to a 1.74 ERA. The runner at second to start is Castellanos, and the first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike by JT Realmuto. So the ghost runner Castellanos on at second. And again, why are we not bunting here? Even if you bunt him to third, you got a couple of cracks to bring him home. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 0-2. Even more so ways to score from third than, of course, at second base. He is in scoring position at second, so I guess you figure 3 base hits could do it. But I always look at it here. If you bunt him over and then a sacrifice fly can do the damage for you, especially with the type of hitters in the lineup for the Phillies. Breaking ball misses down and away, and it's 1-2 to Realmuto. Randy says, I always say ghost runner. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander Merriweather ready to deliver again. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses down and away. Merriweather didn't like that. Mark Ripperger, the home plate umpire, from my own personal experience with Ripperger, I'll just say it the nicest way. His personality is not exactly, does not have a great personality. Let's just put it that way. When you see how he is on the field, he's very, very stone-faced, even among his peers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 3-2. Not very popular amongst fellow umpires in a lot of ways, but that's what makes the world go round. You've got all kinds of different people. Randy says, what is the technical term for the runner? I don't know if it's ghost runner. That's what I like to call it anyway, but fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. He says, worse than Laz Diaz? Well, Laz Diaz's personality is actually pretty good. You know, another guy who was actually really liked amongst the umpires was Angel Hernandez. He talked to the umpires. The fellow umpires actually liked Angel. I never came across Angel. I got a buddy of mine who did a couple of games in the Classic with him, and he had nothing but great things to say about him. Now, the umpiring is another story. There's a fastball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4, as Realmuto is aboard with a walk, and that's going to bring up Max Kepler to the plate. And you hear that sometimes about the officials, as sometimes the guys are pretty good guys off of the field. Doesn't mean that they can call balls and strikes and outs and safes, but they certainly are of that ilk. So that brings Kepler to the plate. Kepler 0 for 3 tonight has seen his batting average drop to 258 on the season, a couple of homers and 6 RBIs. As they do have a shaded to the pull side here. Swanson is actually between the runner Castellanos and the bag at second base. Castellanos has got a bit of a ginger lead here at second. He did spaghetti him back here as the pitch is on the way from Merriweather. It's a breaking ball that just misses up and in. Count is 1-0. Merriweather's not really missing by a whole lot here. He's just not getting the home calls from the plate umpire Ripperger. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. One of the guys who's retired now, who I thought was an absolute hoot, great guy, Sam Holbrook. Good old Kentucky boy, Sam Holbrook. He was the one who called in the playoffs the infield fly rule that was about maybe 30 yards in the left field when the Braves were in the playoffs one year. But outside of that, Sam Holbrook, pretty much a pretty decent umpire, well-respected amongst the players, or I should say well-liked amongst the players. Great disposition, good sense of humor. It's too bad he had retired. I understand there was also some FBI investigations a number of years ago into him as well, but nothing that came to fruition. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. It's now 3-0 to Kepler. Well, tough spot here as you've got one more ball is going to load the bases. Kepler's going to get something fat, and it looks like the Cubs faithful are getting a little bit antsy. Either that or they're getting their beers lined up as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 3-1. Randy said, was that the Braves-Mets game? I think it was. That was a playoff game. Or it might have been a World Series game, actually. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up. It's foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And the count is full to Kepler. Kepler, as I mentioned, was trained, raised in Germany, but I believe it's his mother who's American who had some Texas roots, so he would go and see his grandparents who lived in Texas. He would get to there. He'd do baseball camps down there. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. He's going to be aboard with a walk. So Castellanos moves to third. Realmuto moves over to second. And right now the problem is nobody has hit their way on base. They started with the ghost runner at second. A walk and a walk has loaded the bases. It's going to bring the pitching coach of the Cubs out to the mound, as they're going to have a couple of words here with Julian Merryweather as this game is unraveling right before the Cubs' eyes. It's been a really well-pitched game tonight by both teams. And in fairness to Merryweather, there's been a couple of times here he maybe hasn't got the calls that he probably deserves. A couple of reasons. One is the home cooking. I always say the home team always gets a little bit of an advantage in their calls. Hasn't got the home calls. And he's been around the zone. It's not like he's been missing wildly. So back-to-back walks here to begin the 10th inning. Brings Alec Bohm to the plate. So Bohm tonight officially 0 for 2. He's flown to right. He's grounded to the pitcher. And he has walked in his 3 trips. So officially 0 for 2 in the books. So an opportunity here for the Phillies to do this. As the right-hander is delivered, there's a fastball swung on. This is going to be hit in the right field. It's going to be deep enough to get a run in. Back on the warning track and making the catch is Tucker. Tagging at third and at second are the runners. So advancing to third will be Realmuto on the sacrifice fly. Scoring is Castellanos. The Phillies have now taken a 2-1 lead on the sac fly by Bohm. And he gets himself an RBI, and that's going to put runners at the corners with 1 gone. And it's going to bring the center fielder Johan Rojas to the plate. Fred Randy said that Edwin Jackson was born in West Germany. Yes, he was. There was also a relief pitcher. It wasn't Olin, but I can't remember the fella's name right off the top of my head, who was also born in Germany, but not necessarily raised there. And there's a bunt down the first baseline. This time it's a decent one, fielded by the first baseman, Bush, who backhand throws it to the catcher, and they're going to retire the runner at the plate. Realmuto is going to be gunned down. You're going to take a quick look at this. Rob Thompson agrees. That's going to be an out. It's going to be a fielder's choice in the books. It's going to go 3-2 on the putout to retire Realmuto. Advancing to second is Kepler. Rojas is going to reach on that fielder's choice. The sacrifice bunt did not work in the favor of the Phillies. No sense in looking at that. The runner, I don't even think, got to the plate. Nice job there by Amaya to get the ball and to block the dish. So that brings up the top of the order in Bryson Stott. As the pitch from Merryweather on the way is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So I'm curious to see what the Phillies are going to do here in their half of the inning, if they're going to bring the closer back in again or if they're going to go to their bullpen. I wonder if Alvarado can give them 2 innings. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 2 balls and no strikes to Bryson Stott. Stott has a triple in 4 trips. He scored the first run of the ball game for the Phillies. Stott has also struck out, lined out, and grounded out. Yeah, I don't understand why they would have even looked at that. He was out by a country mile. Here comes the 2-0 offering. It's a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be 3-0. But what is killing the Cubs here in this inning are the lack of strikes from Julian Merryweather. Merriweather's thrown 17 pitches to this point, make it 18, and only 7 for strikes. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. It's the third walk of the inning issued by the Cubs right-hander. It's going to reload the bases here with 2 gone. That advances Kepler to third, Rojas to second. And that's going to bring Trey Turner to the plate. So Hodge and Presley had walked 1 batter tonight. Kion had walked none, and Merriweather already here in the inning has walked a hat trick full of batters. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Trey Turner. Turner 2 for 4 tonight, has a couple of singles, a couple of groundouts. He did drive the first run of the ball game in for the Phillies. As Merriweather delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Our friend Randy, who's been in the chat here most of the night, we were saying about how the Phillies bullpen this season has found ways to implode. It was only a matter of time. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and grounded, foul over on the third base side. Count is 1-2. Randy said he just bought a book about the 79 Phillies matchup between the Cubs and the Phillies. Michael Jack Schmidt had quite a day. There's a ground ball hit over to third. Brian fields it. He's going to fire across the diamond, and it's not going to be in time. Oh, that's going to get a run in. You got to understand the speed of Turner. Brian in that particular spot there probably would have been better served maybe going to second to try to get a fielder's choice. I don't know if he would have won the race to the bag at third, but Turner beats it out. It's going to be an infield single. He's going to get his second RBI of the night, and the Phillies are going to increase their lead to 3-1. Oh, boy. Know thy runner. I would have said probably their best bet would have been to go to second base. And our friend Randy says when it rains, yeah, absolutely. It sure pours. And Craig Counsell is coming out to get Julian Merriweather. His night is going to be done. Hang tight, everybody. Got a mid-inning pitching change. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you going to throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is going to be Caleb Thielbar coming in relief of Julian Merriweather, the 38-year-old left-hander. Is going to be making his 12th appearance here for the Cubs. He has worked in 10 innings. He's allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, all of which have been earned. He has walked 7 and struck out 8 in his 11 appearances. He's got a 3.60 ERA. He is a longtime veteran of the Minnesota Twins, his first year with the Cubbies. So Caleb Thielbar on in relief of Julian Merriweather, the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Cubs. So the bases are still loaded as Bryce Harper will come to the plate here. And certainly this is not the batter that you want to face with the bases juiced, although there is 2 out here. So a lefty-lefty matchup as Thielbar has to get the star of the Phillies out. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that's waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Harper's not had a great night at the office tonight. He is 0 for 4. He has grounded out twice, flown to center, and bounced into a fielder's choice. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there is a fastball that misses low, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Friend Randy says you can't walk 3 batters in an inning, and those are facts. especially in the 10th inning when you got a ghost runner already on base. Pitch on the way, breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-1 on Harper. Cubs fans here still pretty much seated in support as they are down 3-1 now to the Phillies. The pitch on the way, breaking ball waved at and missed. Count goes to 2-2. Yeah, Harper has had a rough night at the office, as we said, but if you believe in jinxes, and there's a fastball that swung on and missed, and that is going to do it as Harper is down on strikes for the third out of the inning. So Caleb Thielbar gets a round of applause as he is going to be heading off here to the dugout. So they got 2 runs in the inning, did the Phillies, on the benefit of only 1 hit. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 10th inning, it is the Phillies 3 and the Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Cubs coming to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 10. Bush, Swanson, and Horner when we return. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 10th, it's the Phillies 3 and the Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for listening in with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is the former Toronto Blue Jay closer coming in. It is Jordan Romano, as he will start here. Seiya Suzuki is the ghost runner over at second base. And he'll be facing Michael Bush, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Horner. Jordan Romano is making his 12th appearance for the Phillies. He has worked 9 1/3 innings. He's allowed 15 hits, 15 runs, 14 have been earned. He's got an ERA of 13.5. The first pitch he delivers to Michael Bush is taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Bush tonight officially 0 for 2. He has also drawn a walk. Cubs only have 3 hits in the ball game tonight, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 0-2. 2 of the hits in the second inning were back-to-back doubles off the bat of Horner and Crow Armstrong. The other hit was a single by Miguel Amaya, so everybody in the top 5 of the batting order is hitless here tonight for the Cubs. As Romano gets the sign and he works himself to the set. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball at 98 misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So Jordan Romano had some pretty decent years with the Blue Jays. He's got a very weird way in which he comes set. He used to do it a little bit differently in Toronto, and then they kind of made him stop doing it. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and Bush is in the books for the first out of the inning. Wastes a lot of energy, at least in my opinion, as he comes into that set position. It's like he's doing some sort of yoga calisthenic. So Bush is gone for the first out. That's going to bring the shortstop Dansby Swanson to the plate. As the right-hander works himself into the set position, kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Swanson. Well, Swanson tonight, the way they've attacked him, it's been a steady diet of breaking balls, and each time he hasn't disappointed with a swing and a miss. If you are a Philly fan, he has had a rough night tonight. has been Swanson. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball at 97 misses upstairs, and the count runs even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Randy says he doesn't expect Swanson to get a hit. Probably the way things have gone tonight, I would have to agree. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Swanson. So he swings and misses at the breaking stuff, and he sits and watches the fastballs go right down the middle. It's enough to make the manager's hair turn gray. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Swanson as Romano checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on at 97, but that's going to lift into the seats over on the first base side. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cubs trailing 3-1 here. They've got the runner at second with 1 gone here in the 10th. And the pitch on the way to Swanson. Breaking ball swung on and chopped foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Phillies. 1-3-0 for the Cubs. It's been at a premium in this one here tonight. Pitches on the way. And there is a breaking ball that is spiked into the dirt, and the count goes to 2-2 on Swanson. So the Cubs faithful are starting to rise to their feet around the stadium, as it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the right-handed hitting shortstop of the Cubs. Romano kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. Moving over underneath it is Kepler. He makes the catch. Not tagging, but retreating back to second base is Suzuki. And that is going to put 2 in the books here. And that's going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Nico Horner. Randy said the Cubs AAA team, which I believe is Iowa, was playing the Reds, and the Reds had sent Will Benson down. Yeah, not surprising. Benson really hasn't made a big impact for the Reds this year. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Horner. Horner 1 for 3 tonight, has a double in 3 trips. He also had flown into a double play and popped to second. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on its grounder right back to Romano. He knocks it down. He fields it. He underhand flips it to first. And that is going to do it. It's going to be a ground out 1-3 to end the ball game. And that will do it here for the Cubs in their half of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. There was the ghost runner left aboard. Your score as we are through 10 and completed 10 in this one, it is the Phillies 3, the Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We're going to wrap this one up for you when we come back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for listening in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We really appreciate you guys for listening in with us tonight. Not a huge crowd, but a crowd nonetheless. And we thank you for joining us here for this one. Your final score was the Philadelphia Phillies 3 and the Chicago Cubs 1. We'll give you the roundup here. The scoring got going in the second inning when the Cubs took the early lead. With 2 out, it was a double by Nico Horner, and he was driven home on a double by Pete Crow Armstrong. So back-to-back doubles in the second gave the Cubs an early 1-0 lead. Phillies responded with one of their own in the third inning, A one-out triple off the bat of Bryson Stott, and he was brought home on a single by Trey Turner. And that made the scoreline 1-1. Well, there was no more scoring until we got to the 10th inning. Nick Castellanos was the ghost runner at second. Then back-to-back walks to JT Realmuto and Max Kepler loaded the bases. Alec Boehm stepped up and drove home a run with a sacrifice fly. That brought home Castellanos. And then Rojas had tried to sacrifice or suicide squeeze a runner home with another run, but he ended up bouncing into the fielder's choice as Realmuto was retired at the plate. And he put out 3-2. Nice play by Michael Busch to field it and the backhand flip it to Amaya. Then after a walk to Bryson Stott had reloaded the bases, Trey Turner had a RBI single on an infield hit to Vidal Brujan as he was able to leg it out. That brought home the third run of the game, and Max Kepler, and that was where your final score ended, 3-1. It was 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Phillies, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Cubs. Again, your final score, 3-1. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight. We'll be back on the airwaves again in the next day or so. We will be back on again tomorrow as we are going to be calling the ball game between the Hanshin Tigers and the Chinichi Dragons. It'll be the Japanese League. And so hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that, as that will go off at 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern tomorrow night. We may look to add an MLB game in the day. We'll take a look at the pitching matchups. We'll see if there's something that works. But once again, thanks for listening to the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll catch you guys again soon.